Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this edition of Saturday morning training for new distributors. My name is Fred Holmes. I'm an independent distributor with ZJ International. It's my privilege to be the host for this particular broadcast. We were just kind of getting warmed up here a moment ago. I was visiting with a few of the team members that are joining the meeting. And I was making the comment about one of our team members, Christine Holland. Folks, you need to be paying attention to that name. Follow her on Facebook. She has got it going on because she's demonstrating the kinds of things that separate the masses from the people at the top. Okay, and it has nothing to do with what most people think about. It has nothing to do with skill sets, previous experience, talent, resources, whatever. Has everything to do with the mental game. And she made a decision, literally at the 11th hour, the 59th minute, that she was going to make sure she qualified for all four of the Get Qualified, the GQ for Summit promotions, and she pulled it off. Okay, she didn't pay attention to what the numbers looked like. She didn't look at the realities of the situation, the realities of the timing. She just kept going because she set a goal and she wasn't going to quit. And she exemplifies one of my favorite sayings. You will find me either at the top of the mountain or dead along the side. That's the only two places you'll find me, because I will not accept mediocrity. Alive at the top of the mountain or dead along the side. That's it. And when you have that kind of commitment to your goals, to your success, to the success of your team members, I don't know what your philosophy is. You can call it karma, providence, God, whatever. Whatever those forces are will say, we might as well quit getting in this person's way because they're not going to stop. They're going to die before they stop. And then all of a sudden the heavens open up and what you were looking for is there. So for those of you that have been invited to this morning's broadcast and you're not really sure why you're here, this was probably not the best way to launch the broadcast. So let me start again. Welcome to New Distributor Training for ZJ International. This is our time to share information about proven success strategies, techniques, tactics to help you build a home-based business that can literally provide for whatever it is that your goals are for yourself and your family. And so I want to welcome those of you that are brand new distributors. Maybe this is your first opportunity to be part of a new distributor training. Certainly, our seasoned team members. I'm looking now as the room is opened up. We've got quite a few people that represent some of our top tier leadership. So that's all. I guess I'm going to have to do a good job. We've got all these big shots that are joining us as well. And then also a special welcome to those of you that maybe you have not yet made a decision to get involved with our company. It's very common that people in their, research and their investigation, they've got questions, like questions about the product, maybe questions about how do we build a business? How do we make money? Maybe questions about, will I be given the support and that I need because this is new to me. Will I receive help in accomplishing my goals? And so, if you haven't yet made that decision, you're still welcome to participate with our new distributor training this morning. Now, a couple of caveats, a couple of things I want you to be aware of. While the title of the broadcast of Saturday mornings is New Distributor Training, I want you to understand that what you want to know in the very beginning as you launch in your ZJ career. We're not going to necessarily cover all those details today. I've taken some time. I've created a new distributor training platform, if you will, a few short videos to give you the foundation that you will want to have as you launch your ZJ business. And I encourage you to take in those preliminary, if you will, new distributor training videos. What we use Saturday morning for is a vehicle to maybe, dig a little deeper into specific components of the skill sets and the mindset and the philosophy that creates success within our, business model. And so if you haven't yet had an opportunity to do so, I really encourage you, go to my YouTube channel. It's www.youtube.com/Fred Holmes Zija. So Fred Holmes, that's my name, Holmes, Fred Holmes Zija, all one word, and that'll take you to my YouTube channel. Now there you'll find, on the main page, you'll find the postings in descending chronological order of all of the presentations and broadcasts and so on that we've been doing. However, you will see a link that says playlists. Now, right now there's only one playlist, okay? That playlist is called New Distributor Training. I did that as one of the first things because I wanted to give everybody an opportunity, if you will, to get up to speed. It's what was shared with me many years ago. For those of you that I haven't, had a chance to meet, my story, very simply, 33 years ago, I was a cross-country truck driver. That was my profession, and I loved what I was doing. But at a point in my life, when my older boy hit school age, I was faced with a challenge. I needed to provide the financial resources for the specialized educational support that my son needed to become everything that he could become. And so as a cross-country truck driver, I recognized I needed to create a substantially greater income than truck drivers earn to pay for those educational resources. But I also needed much greater time freedom in my life to be with him on an ongoing, regular basis. Two things that my career as a truck driver couldn't offer. This profession of network marketing, multi-level marketing, the home-based business arena, many terms we use, has fulfilled on all of the promises that I was given. What I was told was, if I was willing to work, put in the work effort, if I was willing to learn, if I was coachable, and I had a burning desire to succeed, that there was no limit to where I could go within this profession. And I can tell you that every single one of those promises has been fulfilled. And partially because I was fortunate enough in the very beginning to get some of the finest education in our profession that's ever existed. And so what I share on that little playlist, there are 4 little videos there. The first one is 30 minutes long. It is entitled Saturday Morning New Distributor Training. It's essentially the paraphrasing or modifying what I was taught my first Saturday morning. This goes back to, the mid-'80s. I showed up for my very first new distributor Saturday morning training, taking notes, and this was what I was taught. A few little minor modifications for Zija, but it is the same concepts, the same fundamentals, and it teaches you exactly what most people want to know. What is it that we do and how do we do it? 30 minutes. I encourage you to invest the time to get that training. There are 3 other little 10-minute videos that are part of that one playlist. And those 10-minute videos combined, those 3 10-minute videos, we call that the fast start, how to get off to a fast start. And I'll share this with you, and you might want to put this in your notes, especially for those of you that are just getting started with us. It is easier to get off to a fast start than a slow start. I know it sounds counterintuitive, but you're just going to have to buy my story until you get there, and then you're going to go back and you go, you were absolutely correct, Fred. It was easier to get off to a fast start than a slow start. There is something about what we do that is very counterintuitive to the rest of the world. And there's a reason for it. Because in the real world, a guy like me can make $30,000, $35,000 a year, and today's money, maybe $40,000 a year as a truck driver. Okay? To be able to make what most people consider to be a make-a-living income in a year and do it in a month, and do it part-time, and do it from home, That doesn't make any sense at all. That's what we have here with our business of ZJ International. Now, those 3 little videos, how to develop a prospect list, how to share your story in the 90-day game plan. Those 3 little videos put together represent how to get off to a fast start. And so I encourage you to do that. Today, we're going to take, as we do every Saturday, we're going to take a little snippet, a little segment, and delve down into it. And for those of you that maybe, came here from the Facebook post or what have you, I'm going to tell you, it was probably a little intriguing to be part of or invited to a training on the most important tool that a professional network marketer has. And so hopefully that intrigued you. Maybe that's why you're here. I hope that's why you're here. I encourage you, I'm going to cover some things here for a few minutes. I'm going to invite a couple of people over to this side of the broadcast to illustrate what we're doing. And let me do this real quick, just make sure I'm not missing anything. Oh, perfect. Paper and pen in hand. That prompts me to remind you, if you haven't done so already, get out your journal. Okay, I'm going to tell you right now, one of the most important clues that I picked up very early on in my career was that the top earners in the profession, the meetings that I was at, they had a journal. They were taking notes. Okay, to believe that you know everything or you've already learned everything, that's a surefire sign of somebody who's about to fail, because you know everything, right? And so I encourage you to grab your journal. Now, in the early days, I didn't have fancy journals like this, leather bound, little gold foil pages like your Bible, and the little ribbon dealy bob thing. Now I got really nice ones like this. Why? I can afford them. But in the early days, what I had was spiral notebooks, spiral bound notebooks like this. So whatever it is that you're using, try to find something that you can have as a permanent record, as opposed to just scraps of paper, because those things disappear. Much of what I've learned, that I've used over the several years I've been with ZJ, has created frankly an unbelievable level of residual income, has come from knowledge that I gained many, 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 many years ago. And so today what we want to talk about, the number one tool, and honestly, if I had to pick a tool that was the most important, it's a little difficult to pick the most important one, but this would probably be it. How to tell the story. See, what most people think about our type of business is that it's a business of selling and a business of recruiting. Selling our products to customers, and then recruiting distributors to help us in building our customer base. And that's what most people's perception is. And they're right and they're wrong, okay? Because yes, that's what we do. We sell our product to our end customers, okay? And we develop a consumer base of satisfied customers to reorder month after month and year after year. And yes, we do recruit other distributors so that we can expand our customer base by assisting other people, other distributors, in developing their business. And that's what we do. However, how we do that is very foreign to most types of marketing companies and businesses. The reason that this is so successful, or you can be so successful at this enterprise, is because you don't have to be good at selling the product. As a matter of fact, it is frankly a disadvantage to you if you're a really good salesperson. Okay, and I'll explain that in a moment. Yes, we do recruit distributors. However, you don't have to be good at that. Quite frankly, it's a disadvantage to you If you are an excellent recruiter, the kind of person that can, talk, I don't know if I can say this politically, talk an Eskimo into buying a refrigerator. Okay, I don't know if that was politically correct. We'll have to edit that out of this broadcast for the recording. But you get where I'm going here. It's actually a disadvantage to you if you can talk to anybody and convince them that they should become a distributor in our company. And that doesn't make a lot of sense to people until you understand what the most important ingredients to a successful growing network marketing or multi-level marketing business is, and that is the concept of duplication. If there's a secret to my success, and it's not a secret, I'm willing to share it to anybody who's willing to listen. I have followed a simple system that is duplicatable by the masses. See, give me 1,000 people, average people, and I will make $1 million. And most people are looking for 10 superstars. The problem with that is it's very hard to find a superstar. And unless you are already a superstar, it's going to be very hard to recruit them. And the problem is most superstars are relying on what happened 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, and they ain't that guy anymore. They ain't that gal anymore. I know, trust me, I've talked with a lot of those people. But give me a dozen average people who are willing to work, willing to learn, have a burning desire to succeed. And it's really easy to find a dozen people. Okay, now, incidentally, what am I looking for? Who I was 33 years ago. Nothing special, no skill sets, no great contacts, none of the things people think are necessary to create success. But I had good work ethics, I was coachable, and I had a white hot burning desire to succeed, to provide for my son. Give me a dozen of those people and I'll teach them how to get a dozen people just like them, following a simple system. And once I get to that second level, I'm going to take that 144 people, teach them how to get a dozen. And if you're doing the math, guess what? I just exceeded 1,000 people. If I just teach them to do it one more time, I've got 10,000 people in my organization. And it's just human nature, law of averages. When your organization gets as large as mine, the numbers will work out almost textbook. 80% of my income comes from people that just use the product. 20% comes from the people that are also involved in building the business. And the top 20% of the top 20%, the top 4 or 5%, they're the six-figure income earners. Our type of business is just like the real world. In the real world, and here I'm going to use US dollars, because I know I can tell we've got people from Canada and other parts of the world, but just in the US, okay, 80% of the population in the US lives off of less than $60,000. 20% of the population lives off of 60,000 or more. Isn't that interesting? Now, here's something that's incredibly interesting. Only the top 20% of the top 20%, if you will, that top 4 or 5%, they're the ones that earn $100,000 a year or more. Okay? Zija is just like the real world. The difference being is you get to choose which one of those categories you want to be in. It's not dependent on something that's unique or special, because everybody's of the world can do this. Duplication is the key to success. So the number one tool that I believe that if you want to master one thing, master this. It's sharing your story. Now, this is going to apply for both the categories of what we do. What do? We share our product and get customers. And then number two, we share our opportunity and develop distributors. That's the two things we do. This system works for both categories. If you are prospecting somebody as a potential customer, sharing the product story is the most effective way to get somebody to make a decision to buy the product. If you're prospecting somebody as a potential business partner, a distributor in your team, sharing the income testimonial, sharing the story of how people become successful is the number one way to do that. It's also the most duplicatable way. What I mean by that is that if you're selling the product, you don't have to know all of the ingredients of the product. Okay, there's there's all kinds of information out there that you can get, but it's going to be to your advantage not to be an expert on the product. Okay, learn how to share the stories of people's success on the product, your story and the stories of others. Same thing with prospecting distributors. It's not important that you understand, all of the, the company story, the Ken Brailsford story, the compensation plan, network marketing, business distribution model compared to other traditional business, business distribution models. You don't need to know the finer details of rank advancement and qualification, all that stuff. I mean, it'd be great if you did, but what if you didn't know all that stuff? And honestly, in the very beginning, I didn't know any of that stuff, and I'm pretty good at this stuff. Let me tell you what is the most important thing: being able to share the stories of people who become successful in the business. Share your story and the story of others. So let me give you the 3 elements of an effective story. Here are the 3 elements of an effective story, and you should write this down in your notes. Number 1, your background and motivation to get involved. Okay, your background and motivation to get involved. First element of a good story. Now, if we're talking about the product, your motivation could be, I was overweight and was having problem keeping up with the grandkids. Okay. Background, I'm retired, stay-at-home grandma, and several grandkids, and my motivation, you don't say my motivation, but you, in your story, you'd say, and I was overweight and had arthritis and wanted to be able to keep up with the grandkids. Background and motivation to get involved. From a business perspective, background and motivation to get involved. I was a cross-country truck driver and wanted to provide more income to meet the needs of my son. I was a stay-at-home mom and wanted to be able to create income from home so I didn't have to, I could continue to homeschool the kids and not have to go back to work. Okay, your background and your motivation to get involved. Now, the reason that first element is significant is your background creates a familiarity. You might not be speaking to a truck driver or a grandma or a stay-at-home mom, but everybody can relate to those people, and many people will relate specifically because you're very similar to them. We want this environment where people go, that person is not a lot different than me. And so let's say you have, you're a doctor, you're a lawyer, some kind of, say that, okay? Because that may not be the person you're talking to, but somebody who is a professional will eventually hear that story. With enough stories of different people from different walks of life with different motivations, we'll eventually have stories that are dead on representing the person we're talking to. So first element of a good story, your background and motivation to get involved. Second element of the story is how you got started and what you did. How you got started and what you did. So from a product perspective, could be, I got on Supermix and, XMAM and the premium tea, and I was just consistent on a daily basis. Within my first week, I'd lost 4 pounds. But what I started to notice was I was sleeping a little bit better, and I had a little bit less pain as I was moving around the house, whatever. From the business perspective, how you got started and what you did. Here it's going to be pretty consistent, okay, in terms of telling the story. Me personally, I got started with the Diamond Pack. and then plugged in immediately to the simple system of duplication. I followed the simple system. I got started with the gold pack and plugged into the simple system, the system of duplication. I started as a customer and got such great benefits, I decided to upgrade and become a distributor and plugged into the simple system. When you do your story correctly, it not only becomes the documentation that the products work or the opportunity works, it becomes the roadmap, the guide for the prospective customer or the prospective distributor on what they should do. And here it's just kind of common sense. If you want what she has, then just do what she did. If you want what he has, just do what he did. So, second element of the story, I got started with whatever and plugged into my simple system. For product story, it's talking about being consistent on a daily basis with the product. Third element of your story is results. What happened? And this can be a real stumbling block for some people, okay, especially giving the business testimonial, because some people believe that if they're not making $1 million, they don't have a success story. That couldn't be farther from the truth. Frankly, the best story is the one of the person who, stay-at-home mom, didn't want to have to go back to work after the second baby was born, wanted to create an in-home income, got started with the enhanced system. Okay, got a little bit of product for herself and the family, but followed the simple system, and within her first 30 days had earned, $318.27. Okay, which frankly isn't that big a deal. Okay, it's pretty easy to make $200 or $300 with our compensation plan by simply introducing a couple of customers. Now, I want you to think about this for a minute. If you heard a story, stay-at-home mom, no previous experience, got involved, followed a simple system, and she made, $125 her first week, that's pretty good. Okay, who do you know made $125 extra this week? Without having to have a part-time job, and then compounded that over the first month, made $413.27, and just getting started. That's going to get a whole lot more people's attention than my story, because frankly, my story is unbelievable and doesn't appear to be duplicatable. So 3 elements to your story: background and motivation to get involved, how you got started and what you did. How you got started and what you did. That's going to be pretty consistent. If it's a product story, using these products, staying consistent on a daily basis. Business, what package did you start with, and plug into the simple system. And then finally, the third element of the story is results. And the results are whatever they are. Okay, that's the story. Here's what the key is: learn how to share your story effectively and the stories of others. Okay, if your story isn't as good as you want it, maybe you haven't lost all the weight that you're looking for as quickly as you'd like, share somebody else's story that's got even better. Okay, maybe you're in great health. You don't have some kind of dramatic health improvement story. Share what's happened with you. You're going to feel better. You're going to be working out better. But then share the story of somebody else who's had dramatic results on the product. Same thing goes for the opportunity. So hopefully that's giving you a little bit of a focus on how to share the story. What I'm going to do here, let me see if I can find, there's Donna. Donna, I'm going to bring you over to this side of the presentation, and unfortunately, what I want to do here, because I was going to do a little test with Donna to make sure she could do that. Donna, why don't you put in the chat box and let me know if you're ready to come over and do your story, because folks, I'm going to tell you right now, Donna has a product story that is $1 million story. But Donna, just you know, put in a little chat box if you're ready to go. And let's see here. I'm looking for, who else am I looking? Oh, there's Amy McKenzie. Okay, let me start out with the best one. Okay, Amy, I'm going to bring you over to this side of the presentation. Let me just promote you over here to the panelists. For those of you that haven't met Amy McKenzie, she's an emerald with the company. You know, one of our most, you know, sought out trainers, presenters. I mean, she's all that. And there you go, Amy. Good to see you, sweetie. I'm about to do your story, so I'm not going to do that. But we've been talking about this, and I will tell you this. Amy is one of those people that came to our business without any previous experience in network marketing, direct sales. She was in a lot of ways like me. She was the female version of Fred, right? She had good work ethics. As a solo mom, I mean, she always had, you know, 2 or 3 jobs going at a time. I know that one, right? She had a white hot burning desire to succeed, and one of the most coachable people I've ever met. And so I always use Amy as an example because of how far she's gone in our business without any of the things that people think were the reasons why other people were successful. So Amy, I'm going to hand it to you. Perhaps you can take a moment and give us an illustration of what a good 60-second business testimonial would be.
Well, thanks, Fred. I'd be happy to. So hi, everyone. My name is Amy McKenzie. My background is in professional theater, which I love. But as a single mom, it was clearly not going to put my daughter through college, at least not one she deserved. I looked at this opportunity because I was actually inspired by the founder's vision. It was a match for who I am. I did not expect to have life-changing experiences on the products, however. Something I struggled with my entire adult life was resolved in less than 2 months. Stunning. I decided to come in using the only resource I had as a single mom, which is my emergency credit card, which I never touched. But I saw that I could budget to pay it back over the course of a year. So I went all in. I got the diamond package to give myself the greatest chance for success, and had no idea what I was doing at all. So I actually just followed the simple 3-step system that's provided for us. And you know, in 30 days, in a business I had never done before, I paid back the entire credit card and I went into profit. I made $200. It was incredible, but I didn't stop there. I had a big goal. So I just kept sharing the product, sharing the opportunity. And well, my daughter didn't go to community college or even state school. She graduated from one of the 2 top private universities in America. That never would have happened, you guys. And as a result, she is now on her 2nd master's degree in England, living her dream. That is the greatest joy for a mother. And I checked that one off the list. Now what I get to do, I get to empower other people to do the same, whatever their passion is. And I have to tell you, it is bringing me joy beyond my wildest imagination. I'm so grateful for this opportunity. Thanks for the chance to share, Fred.
Excellent. Amy hit and folks, I listen to the stories as a teacher. She hit every single one of the points. Her background, her motivation to get involved, how she got started, what she did, and then results. And congratulations on your success, Amy. And by the way, I get many, many more compliments on the training when you're the one doing Saturday morning training than me. And so everybody, including myself, is looking forward to seeing you on Saturday morning training more often.
Thank you.
Yeah, I plugged that, folks. Thank you, Amy. I appreciate you joining us this morning. I'm going to let you go back to the other side. And let's see here. Oh, Donna, very good. You raised your hand for me. Okay, folks, let me bring Donna over to this side of the webinar. I'm bringing you over here, Donna. Okay, Donna Nabors is, you watch this. Hey, Donna, good to see you.
You too.
And you can hear us?
I can hear you.
Oh, you're doing excellent. I apologize we didn't get a chance to practice beforehand. Donna's stepping way out of her comfort zone right now, and that's why I'm telling you, pay close attention to this gal. She's going to be going to the top. We talked a little bit yesterday, Donna, about the fact that you have $1 million product testimonial, and maybe you can take just a moment. Folks, I'd like you to hear from Donna. She's had great results on the product. Donna, tell us a little bit about your experience.
Okay, hi. My name is Donna Nabors. I am a retiree from the federal government. I was introduced to Zija by a friend of mine. Excuse me. I was overweight and I had digestive issues. My doctors were very concerned about me. I wanted to lose weight and get healthier. I began drinking the core Zija nutrition every day, and in 7 months, I lost 70 pounds. It was unbelievable. My digestion issues went away, and I was getting healthier every day. And to date, I have lost 108 pounds. I went down 10 dress sizes. When I see my doctors, they are amazed at my transformation. And now I share the products with everyone I meet. They get to feel better, and I get to make a residual income, and I'm having a blast, literally having a blast. It is really fun sharing. And, this is just, how great is that? It's just amazing. Sometimes I'm speechless. And all right, thanks. And back to you, Fred.
Donna, kudos. I mean, I would clap for you right now, except that with the microphone and the way it's set up, it's going to be really annoying to everybody. Good job. Great job. I know this was a struggle for you. You did excellent.
Oh, thank you.
Story over and over, because you're an incredible motivation to so many other people who need to hear your story. Thanks for joining us today, Donna.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, we'll let Donna go back over to the other side. That's really exciting. See, I got to tell you something. As great as it is to help develop the stories of people that, are creating financial success, options for their lives. Amy's story, brilliant, genius IQ level daughter who was never going to get the quality of education that she deserved if it hadn't been for Zija. All that's great. But I got to tell you, hearing the stories of how our products change people's lives, I mean, how can you put a dollar figure on that? And I hope all of you appreciate the challenges that Donna's had, because this is way out of her comfort zone. One time on a training call, I made the comment, whatever it is that challenges you, that scares you, that is taking you out of your comfort zone, chances are that's the direction you should be running towards as fast as you can, because that's the place where growth takes place, where increase happens. So again, kudos to you, Donna. I'm really proud of you and appreciate you doing that. And perfect. I have one more person I want to use to illustrate an effective business testimonial. I've got Candice Smiley on the broadcast here with me. Hey, Candice, I'm bringing you over right now, and I apologize it took longer than I intended to. Candice Smiley, and I'm so used to introducing people as they come on, and I don't want to do your story, Candice. I'm going to unmute you here. Good to see you.
Thank you.
I've known Candice now for a few years. Had the great privilege of being able to have lunch with you the other day. I think about a week ago. You and your daughter drove down. We went out, had lunch at the harbor. Well, me and you had lunch. She was hanging out with the babysitter out at at the beach and that sort of stuff. But I asked Candice to come on. She's certainly one of the most recognized people in our company because of her story, and one of our rising stars. Candice, take a moment. Maybe you can share with our guests and our friends what's happened with you and your Zija business.
Absolutely, Fred. Well, thank you so much for the opportunity to come and share with you this morning. It is just a big part of my week to be a part of, to listen in, to plug in no matter what I'm doing. I mean, this morning I was in mom mode, right? There's stuff that needs to be done. But I wanted to come on, and it was such a pleasure when you asked me to share my story. because I think it's a big part of it. And honestly, Fred, I remember in the beginning of my journey, you were actually one of the ones that had a big impact on learning how to share my story effectively, learning how to communicate that. And that's something I've continued to duplicate. So for those who have never met me, my name is Candice Smiley. I'm an Emerald executive, and I build out of the Edmonton, Alberta area. But most recently, I have experienced the joy of being able to take my home-based business and make it a laptop business, which is a very exciting thing. I have a 3-year-old, and she is my why and my reason, but so am I, because just because I became a mom doesn't mean my dreams, my aspirations, my ambitions disappeared. They were still there. When I was introduced to the company Zija, I was actually in a different network marketing company, but I was actively interviewing companies to find my new home. What impressed me the most about Zija was the products, because they were phenomenal, were and are phenomenal. They don't cut any corners. The integrity is absolutely there. However, I got started because of my background in network marketing and my background in nursing. The two combination of that helped me to recognize that this company was going to be a category creator, and also we were going to impact a lot of people. So I made the decision to get started with what was the biggest kit at the time, largely because I recognized that I needed to be able to have this product get into the hands of many, many people. That meant I needed to talk to mom and dad to get started. So I think you have to remember to get started however you can, whenever you can, but get started. Fred, what was really cool is I made a check my first week in the business because I plugged into a very duplicatable system. I didn't know what I was doing, but I trusted the person who had enrolled me, who had trusted the person who enrolled them. We followed that system. And Fred, since then, I have been able to make a check every single week. And this is my 7th year in the business. Not only that, but the success I created in that first 2.5 years, because you're right, it is easier to build this quickly, to get off to a fast start, to put together your dream team and then support them to maintain. The exciting thing is that even though I took about 2.5 years off to be very present, to have my baby, to be with her for that first very precious year of her life, those checks have continued week after week after week. And so it's really exciting to be a part of the company as we move into this next phase.
And we're excited to have you with us, Candice. Again, I know that taking time away from your daughter and Nora is valuable to you, and I appreciate that you took the time to share your story with us. Great to see you again, and we'll look forward to it. I also know that you're going to be hosting some of our upcoming Biz Talks presentations and Saturday morning trainings here over the next couple of months, so I'm excited to see you for being part of that process as well.
Wonderful. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. We'll see you. I'm going to send her back over to the other side, and there we go. All right. So, folks, you've had a chance to get a little bit of the foundation of what will become the most important tool you can use to build your business. It is your personal story. Okay. When you develop your story, then you will have documentation of the fact the product works. You got to focus on your product story. Documentation that the business works. And be very clear, you don't have to have, Candice Smiley's income as an emerald. You don't have to have Amy McKenzie's income or my income. Frankly, the very best story is the brand new distributor that made, $50 the first week, $150 the second week, and by the end of the month, made that extra $500. Do you realize that the vast majority of people you will ever talk to about your Zija business will join your business simply to make an extra $200 or $300 a week, an extra $1,000 a month? The vast majority of people will join for that. When you start talking about making millions, it's unbelievable. It's unrealistic, and really stories like my story, those are really only suitable for people that need to know there is that upside potential, that they could potentially leave a successful business that they own or a high-paying career as a professional or what have you. When I tell the stories, I tell the stories of the new distributors and the part-time distributors because that's what's the most effective. So hopefully that's been a benefit and a value to you. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to close down this particular presentation. We're not going to do a question and answer because at the top of the hour, I'm going to come back and have what we do on a monthly basis. It's called our first Saturday of the period team-wide meeting. And so I'm going to take a few minutes at the top of the hour. It's 11 o'clock a.m. Pacific, and that'll be 2 o'clock on the East Coast. We do this once every 4 weeks. Today is the very first day of period 129. There's a lot of exciting things happening on ZJA. This is one of the ways that we communicate that information to the team. And so I'm going to go ahead and close down this portion. If you want to participate in the team meeting, you can just stay connected, or you can take a little break like I'm going to and come right back in. The meeting room will stay open. A very, very special thank you from me to all 3 of my guests that participated in sharing their stories this morning. So we'll go ahead and shut this down for a minute. Hopefully you all stick around for the announcements we've got here at the top of the hour. Thank you again, ladies, all 3 of you, for joining me today. I appreciate it. And we'll see you all back here in 11 minutes. All right, take care. Bye-bye.